Alright, Avid Tutorial Part 3, Basic Editing, Part 1. Okay, so I know you guys are thinking, hey Ryan, this is so great. I've learned about bins, I've learned about how to make a project, transcoding, linking. This is so amazing. But wait, there's more. I'm going to start teaching you how to do basic editing. So, this is the thing. Avid is what's known as a 3-point NLE, which is basically saying it's a 3-point nonlinear editing machine. So, I'll just show you what I mean. Let's take this first clip. I have a little bit of clips here. So, I'll just drag and drop this onto the timeline. I have a new sequence here. Okay, so this is the source monitor. This is the record monitor. Whatever happens down here is reflected in this monitor, okay? So this timeline basically represents my movie. Now what happens is that every time I click on a new piece of media, you could have a song, you could have a picture, you could have a video file, it's displayed in here. And I want to take a piece of that, maybe just this little piece here, and I want to put it onto my movie. So I might be taking, scene 1, take 1, part of that. Then I take a scene 2, part 1, take that and put it here. So I'm going to demonstrate how to do that. So say, for example, we have this whole thing happening. It's like, wow, okay, surveillance stuff. I want to see maybe just this little brief section here. So what I need to do is I need to create 3 points. I need to create an in point, and you press the I button on your keyboard. So I'll do it now. 3, 2, 1. Press I on my keyboard, and it makes an in point. So you have to remember that. That's I. You could also use this one here called mark in. That's your in point. Okay? Then we go a little bit forward, press the space button, and stop. That's why I'll make my out point using the O button. Or I can mark my out. Alright? So now Avid understands, oh, okay, Ryan likes this part here. This is the in point. That's the out part of this big whole clip. So now where does Ryan want to put it? So I need to choose, what if I want to put it at the beginning, at the middle, at the end? It doesn't know. So what I will do is, for this one instance, I will put it at the end of the clip, just to make it easy. So we have 1 point, we have 2 points, we need to make a 3rd point. So I'm going to make an in point on this timeline here, and I press I. See how it made that timeline there? It made that in point. This is the same. This is really this. So I've told it that I want this from in point to the out point, and when I press the key, it's going to put it here. Okay, so now I can press the B as in bomb or the V key as in Vancouver. I'll press B. And there we go. So now I have my clip of all that surveillance stuff going on. And now I could see the aerial shot. Okay, so we're going to talk a bit about what just happened there. That's just a simple cut, right? Maybe you don't like it. So you can press Control Z to undo. So right off the top, I want to say you have to know a few things. Write down these hotkeys. What you need to write down is I for in point, O for out point, B for bomb, which is basically overwrite. It's a destructive action. That's why I think of it as bomb. Or V, as in like a wedge, Vancouver, to insert. Now I'm going to talk about the differences in just a moment here. So, say for example, we have this part here. You see how in the clip it starts with that, it moves up to that top guy, like right there. Alright, what if I want to overwrite that? So, I press my I key. Now watch what happens. If I press the B key, it just overwrites the footage that was there before. Boop! And the footage that was there before is gone. Alright, it's a destructive action by pressing the B key. Control or Command Z to undo. Now, with that same action, what if I pressed the V for Vancouver? V. Now, so we see our stuff, and then, oh, okay, and then it's still there. It doesn't delete the footage. What it does is that it cuts into that spot where we had the in point, and it pushes over that footage. It doesn't delete it. And then that's where it inserts this clip. Give it a few moments to try yourself. That is B for bomb, which is overwrite, or V for Vancouver. All right, so yeah, no, I'm hoping this helps you guys out. All right, so Control Z to undo. All right, so let's talk a little bit more. That is like a basic 3-point editing system, okay? Now, if I want to get rid of these marks, what if I want to use this part over here? What I need to do is press G for get rid of those marks, or clear. I think of it as G, get rid of those marks is the best shortcut in my head. So G will clear the in and out points, and again, if I'm here, I press G, gets rid of the in point. So now I have no in points, the tracks are all cleared. All right, cool. So let us talk, that's 3-point editing in a nutshell, and you can do all sorts of stuff now that you know those keys. So I'm going to give you a few other keys now. What if I want to remove this part on the timeline? So I make it in point, I make it out point, and you see how it highlights that region between the in and the out point? Right now that's video 1 for this video layer, audio 1, audio 2 for this video layer. So here's the next keyboard shortcut, Z for lift. So now what happens is that you see your footage, and blank screen, blank screen, blank screen, see your footage. That is the Z key, also known as the lift key. Or, Control Z, what if I, instead of pressing the Z button, I press the X key? See what it did? It removed that footage and took the footage to the right of it and moved it over. That's going to alter the duration. So again, Control Z to undo. Z lifts it, and it keeps the same duration, 1 minute, 12 seconds, and 00 frames. All right? But if I press the X key, boom, now the duration is 1 hour, 8 seconds, and 3 frames. In case you're wondering, this last counter goes frames, seconds, minutes, hours. So, to recap, I for in point, O for out point, I for the next in point, that's 3 points. To get rid of the points, we press G. To undo, Control Z. If we want to make an in point, make an out point, we want to lift this section out, we press Z, Control Z to undo, or we press X to move it over and get rid of it. Pause this recording and give that a try right now, because those are some of the basic parameters of editing that you need to get your head around. Now, I am going to keep moving forward in this sense, and let's start talking about tracks. So now that we've talked a little bit about the edit, take a look here. We have V1, A1, A2. But look at this, we also have V1, A1, and A2. But when I click on this clip, there's only V1. What does that mean? So if I press play on this big stock surveillance footage, I press spacebar, play. Alright, can't hear anything, no sound. So V1 means that this source material has no audio inside of it. Okay? It can show me the video, but there's no audio in this track. But this one, when I click on it, this one has video and it has audio. So it should It should play. Let's see what's going on there. Oh, yeah, if I drag it on, we don't hear anything. But there is audio tracks there. That's a bad example. Let's see what else I got. Is that one? There's a little bit of audio coming through. Tools, audio tool. Yeah, there's a tiny, tiny bit of audio. Okay. That won't have any audio. All right. So basically what I'm trying to illustrate is that it's taking the qualities from this window into your movie. So if I want to put, say, that cloud, I want to put just the audio. Maybe I want to use the audio and not the video. I can turn off this track. So now the video will not come through here, but the audio will come through here. So I will press G to get rid of those points. I make an in point and an out point, 1 point, 2 points, and on my movie I make a third point. Whoops. On my movie I make a third point, press I. Now what's going to happen is that this material is going to come in through these channels, through the V1 track, the A1 track, the A2 track. If I have the V1 turned off, it's not going to come on the timeline. It's going to come through A1, it's going to come through A2, but it won't let me put in. I've turned off the V1, so I'm going to press it. I'm going to press B, 3, 2, 1, B, and take a look. Notice that? It stopped the pipeline from moving the material onto the track. So you have to have an awareness of what these tracks do and what they mean. So Control Z to undo. What if I wanted to pass this to video? This one has audio, so I press A1, A2, and I got my in point, I got my I point, I got my other I point, 3 points. I press B, boom. Look at that. Now I have the video, but no audio. Alright, so knowing what your tracks are is a big thing. Now, here's another shortcut. What if I want to delete this? I can hover my blue, this blue line is known as the blue position indicator. Press T. Oh, I had all my tracks highlighted. There. T, and it will make an in point and an out point on the clip and the track that I have highlighted. So then I just press Z to get rid of it, to lift it out of that equation. So you can see how this can be a lot to deal with all at once. And trust me guys, I am going at a snail's pace. I can go much faster than this. After a while, you don't even need the mouse with some certain cuts. And if I really want to blow your mind, let's try this out. Look on your keyboard, your physical keyboard, right now on your desk. Okay, on your keyboard, do you see those arrow keys where you can move the physical arrows? Okay, move your eyes a little bit upwards of those keys. Do you see the insert key? Do you see the delete key? Next to those keys are your home and your end keys. Also page up and page down. Either pause the recording, take a look for it, but watch this. So here I go. I have my clip, so I press the G key to get rid of those items. I press the home key to go to the beginning of the clip. I press the I key to make the first in point. I press the N key to go to the end of the clip. I press the O key to mark the out point. I press the escape key to flip to the other monitor. I press the N key to go to the end of the timeline. I press the G key to clear the points. I press the I key to make a new in point. I press the B key to insert the new clip. All without touching my mouse. Avid is built for speed. Hotkeys and all of these ways of customizing Avid are made to make you a quicker editor. So again, escape will toggle between the source and the record window. So what I did was basically take this whole clip, moved over to here, went to the end of the timeline by pressing the end key, and then I cleared the points with the G key, made an in point, and then inserted that new material. So I'm just trying to demonstrate how quick you can be with this kind of work. All right, so we talked a little bit about tracks. We talked a little bit about 3-point editing. So I also want to go into some of these tracks before I keep going on. This is to solo the track. What if I have 20 tracks of audio? You have music, sound effects, ADR, wild lines, all sorts of stuff, special effects. And in the edit, I just want to hear the one clip for this one part. By pressing S, it allows us to just listen to that one part of the material. I should really get us some more material here. Let's see, what other stock footage I got? File, import. Do I have any songs? Let's see, I think I got some stock footage to show you. So sound compositing, let's go into sound effects. I think I have some music, audio jungle. Yeah, okay, so I'll take this. Now, I'll bring in this stuff. So 1, 2. This video resolution, it doesn't matter. There's no video. It's only audio. This is an MP3 music, so don't worry about it. This is like, doesn't matter. But you should know where you're putting it. I'm going to put it into my rugged to make a copy. So I can make that. Starts making that copy. Okay. It's asking how, since sound is not frames per second, right? It's asking us, how do you want us to interpret this? So we were working at 24 frames per second. Make it at 24 frames per second. All right, so now it's making that copy. All right, so here we go. And okay, you got the idea. Whew, that's loud. Okay, so I take it, in point, out point, and I want to put it under this music here. And look at that. This clip has no video. It has audio, but no video. So I make my in point. There's the new in point. You can't see it, but it's there. And I press B. So, oops, just a second. So it went through here, but these were turned off. So it doesn't, it's like trying to put it through, but there's a wall there. It won't allow me to put it through. So I have to turn those on. Press B. There we go. And it went past where we were. So I have to scale back using this scale bar. Click to the left, and there. I'm totally scaled out. Alright. So what happened though is that we overwrote the footage. So we have to turn this off because there's nothing there. I got to turn that off and turn off these sync locks. So again, B. There we go. What happened was that it took this nothing coming in here and thought that we were pushing it through this V1. So it overwrote the footage with nothing. I know, guys, this gets really complicated, trust me. So here we have our dramatic footage. Well, that kind of worked out pretty good. So there's one. Now what if I want to add a new track? What if let's try to make another track of audio here. So file, import. Instead of dramatic, let's go with Tech World Unite. Open that. So I want to have this go from dramatic trailer, and then I want to have it suddenly play into Tech World. Let's listen to Tech World. Okay, you get the idea. So what I'm going to do is that I want to have another track, but I've only got A1 and A2. All right, so what I got to do is right-click in this ether zone. All right, and new audio track mono. Makes one track. I'll make one more. New audio track mono. So Tech World, I double click, it's loaded up here. I make my in point. I make my out point. All right, and I'll put it somewhere in the middle. Okay, I want it to be starting here. So, A1 is linked to A1. A2 is linked to A2. Video track, oh, what are we going to do, guys? What do you think we should do? Well, first off, turn off V1. I don't want it overwriting the video. Turn off A1 and A2, and boom, it automatically configures to go down to A3, A4. Right? A1 will now patch into A3, A2 will patch into A4. I still haven't made my endpoint though yet, so 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. Press B, there we go. But, and this is our scale bar to scale us out. Scale, so think of the scale bar as I want to go see the single 1 frame. Between those 2 lines is 1 frame. If I scale out, I can see the entire clip. Now, here's the thing. So, if I turn off this solo, I can hear everything now, so we'll just listen to it. Yikes. Alright, first, everything is too loud, right? Everything is way too loud. So what I need to do is turn down the volume, but I want to show you first. Okay, basically this. If I play this, I'm getting both of these songs together. If I solo this by pressing S, I can just hear this one track. I'm sorry about the volume, but I'm not going into keyframing just yet. So that's what solo does. But what if I want to mute? M is for mute. So I can mute, and then you get it? So one is solo, one is mute, and that's what these are. Okay, these are called sync locks. Sync locks help us keep everything in sync. So what if I'm cutting over here to here? And alright, I include this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave that for another lesson. I don't want to get into sync locks just yet. But we've covered solo, we've covered mute, we've covered adding new audio tracks. Also, this is where you can add a new video track. Oh, here's a cool thing. So take a look at this. This one always screws up the students, and it's kind of funny actually. So I'll take this. I'm going to make an example. I'll take this part of this clip, and I want to put it over everything. So I will turn off these pipes. My endpoint, 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. You can't see it, but it's there. V1 will go into V2, and I press B. There it is. I need something to cover all of this, so I'm going to Control Z. I'm going to make a new endpoint, a new out point, and I'm going to make a new endpoint at the beginning. 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, and press B. There. Okay. Now take a look. We can still see all those cuts, right? So what the heck? How come I can't see my new clip? Or sorry. Here we go. This is what's going on. Yeah, you see, this is our monitor button. If I press up, it shows me what's on top. So this button always has to be to the very top so you can see the clips on top. I hope that helps you, but a lot of students will be like, hey, my video disappeared. What's going on? I can't see anything. Ryan, help, help. I worked 4 hours. And I get students freaking out on week 12, and it's just like, what's up? So I hope this helps you out. Yeah, so that's kind of a nitty-gritty in point, out point, and a little bit of adding tracks, making tracks. Oh, how to make tracks bigger. So here we go. What if I want to really zoom into A1 and A2? I want to make these tracks bigger. Hold down Control, and Control L can make your tracks bigger, or Control K can decrease them. All right. So again, I'll just turn this off. Control K, or Control L. You see how it can work on just those 2 tracks that I've selected. So again, that command is Control K and Control L. But I want to show you how to access the waveform. So now, I know that there's music here. I know it for sure. So, pay special attention. In your Fast menu, for this timeline, click on it. Go to Audio Data, Waveform. And that shows you the wave, it's pounding. Go to Audio Data, Clip Gain. And then Audio Data, Volume. All right. So this is going to be especially useful for later on. Oops, I'm sorry. Sorry about that, guys. When we need to do some keyframing. But this shows you your audio at a glance. So when we zoom right in, you can see the audio, right? All right, let me just see. I'm going to press the apostrophe. I've got it all set up weird on my keyboard. Just a second. So K for keyboard is N. So, there. All right. So this stuff is loud. I have it mapped on my keyboard with, if I press N, I can have this keyframe. I think on you guys though by default, so go into your settings, then press K for keyboard, bring up keyboard, and you're looking for this add keyframe button. I think by default it's on your apostrophe. I think it's here. That's fine. I map mine to N just because that's where it works for me. But wherever it is, just be aware of it, make a note for it. And now, get this. So you can or actually I'll click and I hold down Shift and I click on the other one. Now I can put them both down at the same time. Okay. So now that we've got that, check this out. Better, right? Well, let's really blow your minds now. So then I press N again. And it's only going to do it on the tracks that are highlighted. So now I click, hold down Shift, click on the other one. See them both highlighted pink. I raise them up. I click, I highlight on the other one, and I raise it all the way down. And it's not at the end, at the very beginning. So get this, hold down Alt, and you can move it to the left or to the right. Okay? So here we go. Oh, that's too loud. I don't want to blow your guys' ears out again. So right there. So now I'll scale out. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, you got the idea. Now, there are levels for this. So like say your volume on your computer is set really high and someone else's is set really low. How are we going to mix it so that it's all good at the end of the mix? Well, this is the basic rule. Between -6 and -12 is where we want the dialogue. And we kind of want the music down low because it's always overriding stuff. I'll cover that in another tutorial when I do audio mixing. This is just the basics of editing basics. Alright, so this lesson has gotten pretty long. I'm going to stop there. Next, I will cover some of these smart tools. So with that, I am going to say, you got it. Not record the screen. Stop recording.